it's Kay, and I just wanted to talk to you guys for a minute because last year, today, my best friend took his life. Just let that sink in for a minute. I know, it's a lot. It's a lot. Also, I'm not driving, just so you're aware. I'm currently just sitting in a parking lot on lunch. So I kind of just want to talk to you guys because with that, at the time, it felt like my entire world came crashing down. I still remember that day, the day after, the week before, the week after. I mean, I was a mess, obviously, understandably. So I just want to kind of talk to you guys because suicide is never an option. I can't remember if I already said that. Bear with me. And with it being a year, I wasn't ready to openly talk about it last year for obvious reasons. But I don't know. I feel like I sort of should share my story. And this isn't like a, oh, sympathize with me, give me pity type story. No. It's more of like an open your eyes. People matter. You matter. And I know that, people say that, okay, but they don't understand you. Trust me, I completely understand that. So I've already cried, which is why I'm not wearing any makeup, because, crying. It's been extremely hard. I'm not gonna lie. I fell into a deep depression afterwards, considering he was my best friend. I was extremely close to him, and I miss him every single day. I remember the very last thing I told him in person, because I was very, very sick to my stomach that day, because I have this thing where every time someone I know dies or is going to, get seriously hurt or, attempt something, I get this really, really strong gut feeling. I had to pull over that morning, last year, today, because I felt like I was going to throw up. And this was on my way to school. So we did have our last hour class together. Sorry, this is my knee. I don't know, man. And I remember just sitting there. He didn't sit in front of me, but he used to move from the other side of the room to sit in front of me to help me with Spanish because, I am not great at Spanish. And I remember that day I spent the entire day writhing in pain because I didn't exactly know what this feeling was at the time. But I knew something was going to happen. I just didn't know what. Well, I mean, I could hope, it wasn't that. But, yeah, so I spent the day writhing in pain, and in that class, I had my head in my hands, and I remember he turned around, and he was telling me that it was going to be okay, and he was rubbing my elbow, in circles with his thumb. This looks so weird. In circles with his thumb. And we walked out of class after school, after the bell rang and all that. And I gave him a hug because I knew he was thinking about it. He told me between second and third period from this really long text. And I spent the day trying to talk him out of it. I told him that I would tell a teacher. Unfortunately, I did not. I still regret that. But I mean, it is what it is. Unfortunately, I hate that I'm saying that because the pain is very real. Don't get me wrong. It's a struggle not to cry in this video, so see my nose is already turning red. So I mean, it's definitely seriously impacted my life. But he gave me a hug. And I told him he better not do anything, that if he did, I would. And the last thing he said to me in person was, you better not. And then later that night, he was texting me. And I was trying to talk him out of it for hours. And, I'm sorry. Trying not to cry. So basically what I said and what I did wasn't enough. He committed suicide while we were texting. The very last thing I told him was, I love you. Because we constantly said that. You know, we were super close. We called each other twin. But since we were in Spanish, and, you know, there's this, like, gender role words, he was twinno, and I was twinna. And same thing with Hun. So it was Hunno and Hunna, even though that made very little sense now that I think about it. But, I mean, that's okay. It's just a little thing that we did. And I remember saying that, and then I never got a response. And the next day at school, he wasn't there for obvious reasons, you know. And I asked my teacher to go on a walk when I found out. And I was walking, I hadn't made it very far. I went down that hallway, and so I could go, like, outside. And a girl stopped me. Not a girl, but like I want to say a counselor, I think she is. She's like she's not a counselor, but she's like the attendance person in the counseling office for some reason. I don't know why she wouldn't be in the office, but, like, you know. She stopped me and said, are you okay? Because I was visibly shaken up. I was fighting back tears. And I told her my best friend committed suicide. And she pulled me aside, and she walked me out of the building and to the front of the school where there was a bunch of counselors. And I remember he told me, my best friend, that no one would notice. No one would care. I am here to tell you that people do notice. I watched so many people cry for weeks because of it. Even the other day, we were talking about suicide and depression in health class. And another girl that knew him got up out of the class and walked out crying. And even today at school, there are flowers in the little circle that we have. So, and yeah, so I mean, you do matter. No matter what you think, people care about you. People love you. I loved my best friend, and he's gone now. And somehow I'm still here. I am here to share this with you guys because I feel it can impact someone in some way. Because I tell all my friends that there's good around every corner. And trust me, there is. I mean, I had one friend a few months ago that was telling me he wanted to attempt. And I was telling him that. And I stopped him from doing it. And he later then thanked me because he ended up going to a farm with his friend. He owned the farm. And had a week of concerts lined up. And they went together. And he was so happy after that. So even though things may get rough, that doesn't mean that it's worth stopping your life for. Just because it's hard doesn't mean you can stop. Just because something goes wrong doesn't mean the world is over. I know at times, yes, it feels like that. Trust me, I know. But it's never over. It's not an option. That needs to not be a thing. Suicide is not an option. You may not realize how many people you've impacted with your life, but trust me, it's a greater number than you'd ever imagine. There were so many people out there that day. So many people ended up going home that day. Because he was such a happy, kind, caring guy. And I mean, I know, it's typical to say, oh, this person was happy, why did they commit suicide? But, honestly, he was happy. He kept me going. He was always laughing and, telling me jokes and sending me things, and it was great. And every day I'm faced with this struggle because of it. Because I lost my best friend and I couldn't stop him. And I'm not going to tell you the entire story because, that would take hours. Plus I've only, never really told anyone the entire story, but this is hard enough to talk about, especially to share it with the world. Because a lot of you guys might not know me personally. A lot of you guys might not know him personally. But just know that your life does matter. There's never a point in ending it because there's always help you can get. You're not alone. And I know that's so, easy to say, but like, in the description of this video, I will leave numerous numbers, that's okay, for suicide hotlines and, things like that. Okay, so be sure to check down the description if you or anyone you know is suffering from mental health issues, depression, what is it called? Suicidal ideation? That's what it is, sorry, words. And I don't want anyone to ever have to feel like I do, or did even. The pain has not gone away. It's been a year. Everyone keeps telling me, oh, it's going to get easier, My question is when. I mean, it's hard, obviously. I keep saying that, but, like, I feel like these are things that people should know. Because your best friend may be struggling, and you need to take the time to care for them. You need to make it known that you care about them. You need to make it known that you're there for them and that there's other people there for them. Their family, their friends, anyone that they know, really. Sorry. So, I mean, please, just know that there's always help out there. I went through years of counseling myself, before and after this event. I have personally grown a lot to see that every life matters, every human being matters, and I know that that's really, really easy for someone to say, but I'm telling you this from experience. So I hope that somehow this will drive something into your mind that tells you that it's never, never, never okay. Because people care about you. People love you. People don't want to be without you. Honestly, I know when you're down, you may not see that, but like, I don't know. Look at the people you text. Look at the people that talk to you every day in the halls, or, every day at work, or wherever you are. There's so many people in this world. You've impacted at least half of the people you know. Honestly, probably more. Because every person has a story. Every person has something to look forward to and something to see in them, I guess. I don't know. You've all done something great in your life, and I know that. And if you don't think you have, it'll come. But trust me, you have anyway. So basically, yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that even though things may get rough, there's always a solution. It may take time. Honestly, time is probably the biggest thing. Just give it some time, take it day by day if you feel depressed or down or whatever it is, and just hold on to the hope that you're going to be okay. You're strong, you're beautiful or handsome. You're better than you ever think you are. We are our hardest critics. And yeah, that's said a lot, but I mean, it's very true. You see yourself and you look at all the flaws, but other people miss them. I mean, not every person is there to judge you, unless, you're in like a beauty contest or whatever it is, but like, I don't know, there's never a point in ending your life over something. Let alone, as they say, suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. And yeah, that sounds cliche and all that, but it's true. It's always going to get better. The rainbow doesn't come without the rain. You're here for a purpose. You were put on this planet at this moment for a purpose. You have to live and see that purpose through. My best friend was 16. He had his entire life ahead of him, and he cut that short. And that has damaged so many people. And I want you guys to understand that you have so much ahead of you, no matter how old you are, that you have so much potential in this world and in this life that you just have to see, and you can do so much good.